Happy Sunday, everybody. May 19th. It's been a while since we've all checked in. I have some really great news to share. Just a few weeks back, I was kind of whispering that the heel is real. And now I'm just a little over 2 months post-explant, and I am ready to use a bullhorn to shout that the heel is in fact very, very real. I have hit a major turning point on my healing journey. So I'll kind of talk about some of the symptoms that I was still dealing with. The head hum that was deep inside my inner ears, that was holding on post-explant, that is basically almost completely gone. There are some days where I will have a very little bit, but I almost have to listen for it. But overall, it is just gone. The neuropathy and fibromyalgia pain continues to be gone. The leg pain, the muscle soreness that I would kind of have in my hamstrings and my butt muscles and kind of my low back area there, that is still there, but it's much different. It's not like a tight pulling that like wouldn't release and kind of took away all my flexibility. It is actually more of a muscle soreness just because I am able to exercise somewhat now and am slowly building up my strength. And so that's kind of to be expected, but it's nothing like it was before. So yay for that. So what I wanted to kind of share was I last week ventured to New York City, flew across the country. My family and I had planned this trip a long time ago prior to my getting very, very sick. And I honestly wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to attend even after surgery because I was having such a tough time with that kind of healing crisis. And I decided to go ahead and just sort of force myself to go to kind of test the waters, so to speak, see where I'm at with all of this. And I figured I could just stay in the hotel room and sleep, the whole time if I needed to. But I did want to see some of my family that was going to meet up with us there that I don't get to see often. So in the past, traveling for me has always been a real struggle for years when I was able to travel before I became bedridden and wasn't able to anymore. But every time I would travel, basically I would deal with excessive leg, butt muscle pain. I would have sciatic pain. I would oftentimes have major fibromyalgia flare-ups where I would get some like deep chest shooting pain in my arms, neck. I mean, just everywhere. There was just always pain involved. And then add just, the stress of travel for anybody does, it can sometimes be exhausting. And when you deal with chronic fatigue, it just makes it that much more cumbersome to travel. And so I wanted to kind of see how it would go. Well, I have to say, it pretty much went off without a hitch. I mean, we took an overnight flight to get there. I was unable to sleep, but my nervous system was still a little bit messed up. But thanks to my new little service buddy, little Oliver Clark, he kind of kept me grounded, and I was able to at least kind of stay out of a panic anxiety mode. And all of the pain issues that I used to deal with on the plane, nothing at all. I felt great. After we arrived in New York City, I thought that I would have severe jet lag, and I honestly didn't. I mean, of course we all rested after an overnight flight, but I felt pretty darn good considering. So I right there, that was kind of like, okay, this is huge for me. So while we were there, one of the things that also has always been a struggle to travel is for those of us that deal with food sensitivities, when we leave the bubble of our home that has all the foods that we can eat comfortably, and we venture out and have to go to restaurants and things, oftentimes food sensitivity issues really become a problem because you have to be so choosy about what you eat and worry about what they put in your food and all of that. And although I did try and eat healthy as I often do, I decided to also just let myself enjoy kind of whatever, just wanting to see how my body would react. And that included my having some dinner rolls, and some pasta, which would be gluten. And for me, gluten had become a no-no because it would always kind of add to my inflammatory response within my body and would cause a lot of pain. And honestly, nothing from the gluten. I mean, I would say that I could feel sort of a reaction, so to speak, because I think my body was like, gluten, wow, haven't had this in a while. But I didn't have like a bad reaction. It wasn't that I wasn't sorry that I had it. It was fine. It was great to enjoy bread again. So anyway, that might have been a big part of why my energy levels were so much improved in New York, because I did have some bread products. So I upped my carbohydrate intake. But so food sensitivities were good. I did have some ice cream, and I'm still getting the sugar drunk. So there's still definitely something regarding simple sugars for me. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. And maybe that will just get better in time. But along with that, my energy levels were just so improved that I was able to really start a pretty consistent exercise regimen to really start getting my stamina back up. And so what I did was, we were on the 12th floor, and I was doing the flights of stairs to get to our room at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, and able to do it. I did take it slow, and there were some days where I, kind of had to stop a few times to kind of catch my breath, and I just listened to my body. But the fact that I could even do it, that I had the strength to do it and the motivation to do it, was huge. I even went to the gym and did a little cardio and some strength training, did some exercises in my room because again, I'm having to kind of build myself back up from scratch, because all the time of being bedridden and as sick as I was, I've lost all my muscle tone, and I've got a ways to go, but I'm able to do it. So huge. As far as being in a big city, I was very concerned about the overstimulation of that. And I did okay. I was very happy to have Oliver Clark with me. There were times where I kind of had to lean on him a little bit just to keep me grounded. And there were a few times where I did feel a little overstimulated and was definitely kind of had to get back to the room and get quiet. But honestly, just being able to go and do and be with my family and being able to socialize with them and not struggle as I was, even though my nervous system is still not 100%, it is so much better. So I'm able to actually kind of live life again, and that is just such a blessing. So I kind of wanted to explain what I think has been sort of working for that. So first and foremost, we know that I always praise God on all of it. He is very much in my life 24/7. I talk to him, I pray to him, I read his word. That's what gets me through every single day, and will continue to until the day he calls me home. But on top of that, he has led me to different things that are helping. And so the one book that I know that I discussed in my last blog, Mind Over Medicine, in that she talks about positive affirmation and how you really have to be kind to yourself in what you're thinking. And so what I am doing is, there was a mantra that she told us, suggested that we practice daily. So I say to myself, you are whole, healthy, and free of symptoms. And I will say that in my head pretty much all day long, just to remind myself that I am in fact getting well, and that I do believe I will be well. I mean, I do believe that we have to believe it for it to happen. So that's a huge part of it. I am eating clean, whole foods, staying away from processed foods and processed sugars 95% of the time. I don't drink alcohol or caffeine anyway, but I'm primarily drinking, I definitely do green drinks, so I'm doing a lot of just nutritious, vegetable-based diet and fluid, a lot of water, a lot of minerals. I even put sea salt in my water to help to keep the mineral balance up, so my electrolytes will help with my muscle issues. So that's helping significantly. And then I'm just resting a lot still. Like if I'm tired, I rest. I used to really fight that. I used to always think I had to be going and doing 24/7. And That's not my life anymore. I don't ever want it to be that again, to be honest. I don't miss that. If I'm tired, I rest. I think all of that, just kind of finding balance, meditating, doing different breathing exercises. There's just so many different things that I'm doing to just really promote the most loving, caring, supportive system for my body, so that it can just really embrace healing. And then honestly, I think another big part of it is just when you're on a healing journey of any kind, I think that you just really need to focus on what you're surrounded by, not just what you're putting in your body, but what your stimulation is. So I'm surrounded by a lot of people that love and care and support me in this journey, and I think that is so important for all of us. I think that I personally don't really watch much TV anymore. There's just so much negativity in that, so I don't watch much TV. I've not even really been doing a whole lot of social media like I used to. I am posting, a little bit on regarding my journey and things like that, because I am hoping to help other women, and I've had other women, really say how grateful they are for it. But there's a lot of negativity out there as well in that. So I'm trying to just stay in a real positive mindset and a positive environment in order to just really just breed wellness, and I think that is so important. So for those of you that are on this journey, if you're kind of still in a struggle, the best thing that I can recommend to anyone is to just do everything you can to support your body getting through this. Don't rush the process. Take it one step at a time. For those of you who have implants and are still questioning whether or not you think you should get them out, I am another living proof that Explant does in fact work, and that my implants were the reason I was so sick. I didn't know until I took them out, but now I know. So go back, watch some of my older videos, and see how incredibly sick I was and the laundry list of symptoms that I was living with. And I can sit here now, a little over 2 months post-explant, and tell you that almost all of my symptoms are gone. And I do believe that the ones that are still lingering are going to find their way out. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But I can absolutely guarantee getting your implants out will make you better. But I also gotta remind you always, you have to believe it, and you have to do your part to figure out how to further your healing with diet, exercise, positivity, faith, whatever. But the heal is very real, people. I am living proof. So again, thank you to all of you for continued prayers and support. And I will continue to blog as the journey continues. And I hope you guys have a really great week, and we'll talk again later. Ta-ta for now.